Total side note, always put gloves on when you're using that foam stuff because you'll be peeling it off your skin for a week if you don't. So I made that mistake. So we're gonna do some digging and shifting around of some of this stuff that's here already. And then I'll bring my rock and liner back and we'll see what we can make. One thing I love about these water feature projects is really the only tool I need is a shovel. Everything else is just raw material that I move by hand, right? It's just like big boulders and rock and some plastic liners. But a shovel is really the only tool I use regularly. I don't want to hear any remarks about the length of my shorts. They're all I had today, guys, and it's hot out. Now it's time for the semi-difficult visualization. So I have these rocks to work with and I have this space. What I'm thinking right now is I like this one for the top waterfall because it's got a bit of a curve in it and I think it'll look really good with water coming over here. And then I just have to find a way to block the water in on the backside. So I ran out of daylight and then it poured rain, but we're back. What I've decided to try is these square baskets for like filing, like this. And this will be what covers my pump. And then the river rock. So they're strong enough that if I stand on them, they hold me. If I was to jump up and down, they would probably crack. I'm putting nowhere near that much weight resting on these. So they should do the trick. At these high elevations where I'm out of the ground, right? Because I moved all this soil here and now I'm riding up into their fence trying to hide the liner. Because if I dig the liner down, then it leaks. But if I pull the liner up too far, then it sticks out above the dirt and I don't want to see the liner at all. So this back corner especially, I could already tell that water was going to flow out that side, which I can't have. So I've pulled the liner up and now I've had to just hide it with these rocks and try to make it look as natural as I can. And that's always the difficult part. So I think I've got a rough basin at the top here with my hose coming in under this rock right here, which will come out from under this rock and fill this hole here, and then it'll cascade down. So I've foamed around this base rock, and I might do a test run before I leave tonight. That way I know what I'm working with next time I get here. Alright, so I dug this section down a little more because I think I want to be able to put water plants in here. So I left myself about 6 inches of depth. Then I squared off these edges so I could set these flat rocks in, and then I brought the dirt up to the liner so that the liner's just above the water, and then I slowly filled it in section. The sun's kind of going down soon. It's dipped down behind the house next door. I don't have a whole lot of time today, so I'm going to test run this and see what I'm working with. So I can immediately see I'm losing some under this rock, so I need to foam better, and I'm losing some out the back over there. But it looks like it is slowly filling, so I might be able to see what it looks like over the top of this. I may have to foam that better before I get to even see what this waterfall looks like, because I'm losing too much out of there. My hose at the top wasn't long enough, so I had to extend it out past this rock, and I refoamed that area, and now I'm just setting rock on the inside of the liner and pushing the liner up to it and then covering it with dirt. And I've got water in here, and it was running a second ago, so I could see how high the water got, and then I was back filling up to the liner. So while I'm letting the foam dry up at the top, I'm gonna work on resetting their pathway here, because now that I've got the water feature mostly set, I can just start setting their path in and blend it in with their existing yard. Okay, so the flagstone path is reset. I put some plants in, some nice ground covers and some ferns and a couple water plants. I covered up the liner, so the liner is hidden. And then I let it run for a few days for the dirt to settle, and then I came back and I made a couple of finishing touches, moved a few rock around. If you're planning on making one of these yourself, the main thing to look out for that I keep running into is the edges after you think you're done, because you're trying to blend it into the landscape right, and a lot of times the edge of the liner will sink down and the water will end up flowing over the top where you don't want it to, and that's how you get like hidden leaks that are very easy to fix but sometimes difficult to spot. The easiest way to spot that is to let it run in dry weather and then see where there's mud. Sometimes it's not super noticeable if you have plants covering it or it flows through the river rock, but you can poke around and find those little muddy patches, and you can spot where the water might be overflowing where it's not supposed to. And if you let that go on, you'll end up draining your pond much faster than you would had it just been evaporation taking the water. You're gonna lose some inevitably to evaporation, which is why it's good to put the water plants in it, like the lily pads and things. But if you're losing water rapidly, don't panic. It might not be a tear in the liner. It might just be as simple as the water's overflowing in one spot, and you just have to poke around and find the mud, and then pull the liner up so that it's above the water level, so that the water can't flow over the top of it. So that's something I ran into on this project. I might have to come back later and triple check it to make sure it's not leaking. But that is just something to look out for if you're making these on your own. Before I show you guys the finished product, I just wanted to ask if you appreciate these projects and you enjoy these videos, if you could support my channel, that would be amazing. These projects are not free, but they are funded by my YouTube channel. So if you want to see bigger or more complicated ones or just more of these simple projects, if you could support my channel just by liking this video and sharing it on another platform and leaving me a comment below, that would be amazing. You can subscribe to my channel for more of these videos, and if you haven't seen the ones I've made in the past, I've made many more. So with that being said, this one's finished, so let's check it out.